Hey everyone, it's Chris Crazy House here, and I want to respond to this article that I read on, I think it's called comicbook.com, and it's an article talking about Rotten Tomatoes. And the title of the article is Rotten Tomatoes Movie Scores Don't Matter, so quit whining about them. And basically, what it's saying is that, Rotten Tomatoes, all they do is they aggregate and calculate different reviewer scores and everything, and that way it shows you the numbers as far as what people if people as a group like a certain movie. It's basically just doing statistics and just calculating the statistics of a movie being good or bad. So why do people put so much faith and so much merit on them? And I agree. I've never been one of these people that talked about, oh, they got good reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. I almost hate when people do that nowadays. It's not that important. It's gotten to the point now where on the covers of Blu-rays and DVDs they put rated fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, rated this number on Rotten Tomatoes. It's like, come on, give me a break. But people on the internet swear by it. I see it in anytime anyone talks about a certain movie, they talk about the Rotten Tomatoes score. Who gives a damn? Give your review of the movie. Like, I hate when there are people that claim to be quote unquote reviewers, and then they talk about the Rotten Tomatoes score, and then they'll do the critic score versus the audience score. What do you think of the movie? Think for yourself for a change, and don't just go along with whatever the zeitgeist says. And there's a lot of that goes on social media, especially. Like if one popular reviewer says they don't like something, I see everyone just follows the same trend and just goes along with it. What they don't really do any type of thinking for themselves. And there's a lot of popular reviewers out there that, to be totally honest, a lot of them don't know what the hell they're talking about. A lot of them are not fans of the medium that they're even talking about. They're not comic book fans. Most of them are not even movie fans. They're not sci-fi fans. They're not fantasy fans. They're just kind of glomming onto it because it's easy to do. It's easy to just go ahead and pretend that you have some sort of authority or clout as far as reviewing certain types of media. But you can tell they're not fans because they don't know the basic things about certain mediums that they review. Like I remember watching this. I can't remember what it was. I want to say it was Collider, and they were doing a review of the show The Boys that was on what streaming service was that on? Was it on Amazon Prime? Yeah. They were reviewing The Boys, and they got the guy said he was a fan of The Boys, but then like he was getting basic things wrong about the characters. Like he said, like he was wondering why. He said, "I'm a fan of The Boys. I really like The Boys, but I'm wondering why they chose Simon Pegg to play the character Huey's father." I was like, okay, so you claim to be a fan of The Boys, but you don't know that the reason they got Simon Pegg is because the original Huey character from the comic book was based on Simon Pegg. If you actually read the comics, you can see his face is on the covers, on the inside. The main character, Huey, looks like Simon Pegg, so it's almost like a homage to the actual comics. That's why they chose him to be in the show as the father. But like I said, like you would think you would know that if you were a fan. And like that's little things like that I always notice with these so-called major reviewers. And these are the same people who will quote and swear by the scores that are given on Rotten Tomatoes. Like I said, it doesn't matter what the scores on Rotten Tomatoes are. And like I hate when people quote that to me. It's like if I ask you what you thought about a movie, I want you to tell me what you thought, not what the score on Rotten Tomatoes is. Okay, so and any I'm going to be honest with you folks. As someone who's worked on at different internet companies, I've even done some stuff with Google. That stuff can be, those scores can be changed with literally like I wouldn't say the flip of a button, but the change of a decimal point, and that entire score is can be whatever that who's ever running the site. That's what the score is going to be. Okay, anyone who has access and back doors to these sites can change the scores at whim. All right, so that means nothing. And this happens anytime you compile any type of statistics. And if you don't even, it might not even be malicious. If you just don't even do the programming correctly, you can always get the wrong numbers. Okay, so that's just the way things work. If you've ever done any type of like SAS programming or anything like that, or SAS compiling of stats. But that's what I'm saying. It's like you don't. I would never put faith in that. That's like putting faith in YouTube's ratings and YouTube's algorithms. Would you put faith in YouTube's algorithms as far as trusting what they say is good and what they think is you should be watching? You can just pass by a video or scroll your cursor over a video, and then YouTube will compile all these videos from that one YouTuber or think that you want to watch that, and you really don't want to watch it. So that's what I'm saying. Like if you wouldn't put your faith in what YouTube's algorithms are and the way they mess up subscribers and unsubscribe people and shadow ban people and mess with the likes and everything else, why would you put your faith in Rotten Tomatoes? It's the same thing. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, but it's like these entities somehow get to this point where they become the gatekeepers and tell you what you should like and what movies you should go see and what things you should appreciate. And if you don't like it, then there's something wrong with you. They'll even come out and say, "Well, Rotten Tomatoes said this is good. What's wrong with you? You just giving it a bad. And even that algorithm can be warped by if you have enough people to go there and create a certain score with just the way they vote. If they downvote something, they can change the score, or they upvote something, they can change the score. Just if you get enough people to do so. The same thing happens with actual voting, like political voting. So that's what I'm saying. So you can't always base things on some of these electronic platforms. Just if you want to go see a movie, go see a movie. Don't worry about what the Rotten Tomatoes score is. If there's something that you think is interesting, go see it. Don't follow the zeitgeist. Don't follow the sheep. Enjoy what you want to enjoy. There's plenty of movies on Rotten Tomatoes that have gotten bad reviews that I like. There, and on the opposite side of that, there's movies that are rated fresh or said they were good that I can't stand. I told you before, I don't like Thor Ragnarok. Thor Ragnarok is a terrible movie, but people seem to love that, and like all those major reviewers that I was talking about before, they praise that. But all it takes is for one or two big ones to say it, and then everyone else just kind of falls in line and goes along with it. The same way with some of the hate campaigns against certain movies. If some people say that a certain movie is bad, then everyone else just goes along with it. Like what was it? Godzilla King of Monsters was a fun movie. Same thing with what's another one that got semi bad reviews that no one like? Tron Legacy. Tron Legacy was a good movie. I enjoy. That's one of my favorite movies from that time period, and it was a great retelling of the story of Genesis and creation, but also it fit in some amazing visual effects, and it was a very artsy movie. I enjoyed the hell out of Tron Legacy. It's one of my favorite movies. I rewatch it all the time. But when it came out, it got bad reviews, and I don't think even Rotten Tomatoes gave it a good score. Since it's come out though, like it seems like it's found its fan base. It's one of those movies where people didn't pay any attention at first, but now there seems to be a fan base, because I talk with people all the time who like that movie. I think there's even an article recently talking about that it's not the bad movie that you originally thought it was. I was like, yeah, but that's what happens when one major person doesn't like something and everyone just follows the leader and they don't examine things for themselves. Examine things for yourselves, and if you enjoy it, there's nothing wrong with that, even if everyone else doesn't like it, or you can't explain, or you can't change everyone's mind on it. It's okay to like what you like. I like was that Valerian? I like that movie. I also like the Alita Battle Angel. Those are cool movies, but like I said, sometimes those things just don't get the attention or the notoriety that they should. Some people find it later on and enjoy it later on. Other times people just completely dismiss them. And if you don't like them, that's fine too. I mean, that's okay. I mean, we can have a debate as to what's good and what's bad about a movie. That's not a big deal at all. But like I said, that's not just basing everything on what Rotten Tomatoes says. You gotta be careful with that, because like I said, those algorithms can be tampered with, and then when people put so much faith in it, it's like that can change your whole perception of a movie. I've seen it happen before. Just because something has a bad score or a high score on Rotten Tomatoes, everyone just goes along with what they have to say and don't even think about. They haven't even seen the movie yet, but they're judging it based on what Rotten Tomatoes says. Judge it for yourself and not judge it based on what other people say. So, you folks let me know how you feel about it in the comments section. Anyway, Chris Crazy House signing out. Peace.